MSNBC contributor Jason Johnson is back at it, dropping one of the hottest and most ridiculous takes you have ever seen. So before I get to that, I just want to show you how fair I have been to Jason Johnson. Last week, I covered an appearance he had on MSNBC on Morning Joe where he actually stunned me with good politics. But it was a rare example of that. As in the past, especially during the Democratic primary, he defended Michael Bloomberg. You can go search these videos on my channel. Defended Michael Bloomberg. He blamed Bernie for cuts to the U.S. Postal Service. So, and that's just two of many absurd takes. Also, he called Bernie Sanders staffers an island of misfit black girls, and that was even too far for MSNBC, who actually benched him over those comments for several months before he came back. Now, let's get to this tweet. This tweet that is blowing up Twitter. So he puts out here, reactions to hashtag impeachment trial has laid bare what many people of color writers and activists have been saying for years. Many of the online quote-unquote left aren't liberal or progressive. They're anti-empire and favor Medicare for all. But that doesn't make you liberal. Many white nationalists hold the same beliefs. Now, there is a lot to unpack here. Let's first just take him at his word. Just surface level analysis here. Let's just assume that he is right. That yes, many white nationalists hold the same beliefs. They also want Medicare for all. They want health care for people of color. That's what white nationalism is all about. Let's just pretend that's true. If that's the case, does that then mean that single-payer healthcare is a bad idea? Should Canada now get rid of their single-payer healthcare system that has better outcomes than the American healthcare system does, that is free at the point of use for every Canadian? Should Canada get rid of that now? Because many white nationalists want Medicare for all, apparently. No, of course not. So what is he actually arguing here? Like, what is the point of this tweet? I think this is why a lot of people got riled up by this, because it is so ridiculous and isn't even clear about what he is trying to argue here. Now, again, just to buttress a point I made here, from Public Citizen, Medicare for all is a racial equity policy. Winning Medicare for all would be an essential step in preventing needless pain and suffering in communities of color. This should be an obvious, but I guess people need to be reminded of that. If you give health care to everyone, it benefits everyone, including communities of color. Now, one take on just that surface level analysis, Cam here tweeting out, you can have any opinion you want on single-payer healthcare, but suggesting that it's a form of white nationalism is proof that Bernie Sanders makes you a lot angrier than Donald Trump does. He nails it. This is something, for whatever reason, Jason Johnson really hates Bernie Sanders. I guess, any guy that wants to give you healthcare, that wants to lift you out of poverty, really offensive to Jason Johnson. But now let's get to the other part of this absurd tweet. This conflation of the left with liberal or progressive. So there is this. I feel like we really need an education on many of these terms, and oftentimes people use these terms interchangeably, or they don't know what they mean and they just assume it means one thing. Liberal is not left. Left is not liberal. These are two distinct categories with their own histories. They are not the same thing. You being liberal does not mean that you are more left than being conservative. Now, the only thing you could possibly argue here is that many people may consider themselves to be liberal and are more easily swayable in the ideological discussion in moving them further left, but that's simply because of cultural hegemony, which is liberal. The ruling class controls society, controls pop culture, the media, and that is liberal. So because of that, the vast majority of apolitical people could be considered to be liberals because they don't know any better. But that does not mean that they are more left. Left is not liberal. Again, now there's a lot of commentary, a lot of tweets on this, so I'm going to get to that. Let me start here actually with a quote from the conversation that says, voters need to understand the fundamental differences between liberalism and leftism. It's the difference between a candidate who believes capitalism with just a little refereeing will eventually provide what working people need, versus a candidate who believes a serious intervention in the capitalist economy is necessary. So that's the simplest breakdown I can give you in just a paragraph. But a lot of these tweets also make it clear that these are two different things. Beth Lynch here tweeting out, liberals aren't the left. Liberalism and conservatism are not opposites. Liberalism informs other political ideologies, including conservatism and libertarianism. Liberalism upholds white supremacy by focusing on individual equality over social power and social equality. Another great breakdown here of the differences. Steve Cox here tweeting out, oh, we know supporting Medicare for all and ending these endless wars doesn't make someone a liberal. Liberals support endless war and private health care screwing regular people over. Liberals aren't on the left. Again, another clear distinction here. Hassan tweeting out, saying white nationalists believe Medicare for all and anti-imperialism is just as stupid as Republicans claiming Nazis were socialists, or Candace Owens saying Hitler just wanted to make Germany great, except those people are brain dead and you're supposed to be an educator. Yes. Jason Johnson, not only an MSNBC contributor, also a professor of journalism. So here we go. Prof. School of Global Journalism and Communication. So just to be clear here, it's fine if, you watching this, you didn't know that liberal and left weren't the same thing, that they were different things. That's fine. You're not on MSNBC. You're not teaching journalism. It's fine for you to not know the differences. But if you're being paid for your political commentary on a major network, you should probably understand the differences. More reactions here. Edward Ongweso Jr. tweeting out, Jason Johnson discovering leftists are not liberals and therefore concluding they share non-existent similarities to white nationalists is really everything you got to know about the limits and utility of his political imagination in one tweet. Absolutely. Evan here tweeting out, imagine this is your journalism professor. That's so funny. Ayano here tweeting out, my head hurts reading this. Yes. IPM here tweeting out, horse shit theory. This also made me laugh. And one last tweet here. Henry tweeting out, a good reminder that many liberals are pro-empire and anti-Medicare for all. Also, remember that JJ defended stop and frisk Bloomberg to the hilt against accurate descriptions of him as an oligarch, and talked about prominent black women as belonging to an island of misfit black girls. Exactly. So, I try to be fair. You can go watch my video from last week and then go watch my other videos covering his insanity. But I don't know how much longer Jason Johnson can keep this up. I mean, it's like every week or every month he's finding a new way to sound just completely absurd. Having this kind of commentary from somebody who is paid to do this is just incredibly embarrassing.